Now, one very consistent finding that has absolutely stood the test of time, it's kind of an interesting one. It's a little bit of a pop psychology finding, but I think it points to something interesting that we'll return to again and again, is that people tend to report feeling lower levels of happiness, believe it or not, on their birthday. And the argument for why this is the following, that typically we go through our year not comparing ourselves to our peers terribly much. We might do that a little bit more when we're in elementary school, high school, etc. We're sort of age matched, maybe even college as well. But an evaluation of ourselves to our age match peers is not typically something that we do on a daily basis. Whereas on our birthday, we get a snapshot of where we are in the arc of time, or at least in our life. And many people report feeling rather low on their birthday because they use that as a benchmark or a window into the things that they have not accomplished, the things that, despite being age blank, they still haven't accomplished. And so that's interesting because what it really points to is two things. One, the extent to which much of our feelings of happiness are relative, in particular relative to our peers. So there's that social aspect again. And the fact that most of the time we are not very good at orienting ourselves in the longer arc of time. We're pretty good at knowing where we are in the arc of a day or the arc of a week or the arc of a month or even a year, but that most of us are not very good at reflecting on where we are in our life arc. And of course, most of us don't know how long we will live anyway, but we do have some general sense. I mean, very few people live past the age of 100. Many people live to be 70 or 80. And again, lifespan is extending as far as we know from year to year. But in general, people report that on their birthdays, and I should say these are for birthdays aged 25 or later, at least in the studies I was able to access, right? I don't think that a lot of 3-year-olds sit around comparing themselves to other 3-year-olds and how well they're doing, or 12-year-olds. You can imagine some people might do that at 18, et cetera. But it's really by the mid-20s that people start evaluating themselves to their peers in terms of life progression and so-called milestones. It's been argued that that's one of the reasons why people report lower affect, lower levels of happiness on their birthday, something that's a little bit counterintuitive.